Hey, what is happening? What is going on? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you for stopping by, and any new faces here, hopefully you enjoy the channel and welcome. So one of the biggest problems in Blender is once you've created your scene, it's to render it, and sometimes your renders can take long depending on your computer, depending on what graphics card you have. There's so many things that play a factor. So I thought I'd make a video and show you guys how to render faster, so how to get your render times down with still keeping good quality, because obviously you don't want to sacrifice the quality for a faster render. You'd rather wait a little bit longer, but let me show you how to do it. So let's jump into Blender. Okay, so we're on Blender. First thing you want to do is adjust this max samples for your render. Right, so this is way too much. Usually I'll put it to 300 just because like I've got a faster computer, but literally between 150 and 200 is perfect. So you don't even need to go more than 200. That's perfect, and obviously you can play around with it, but I would say don't go over 200 if you are having slow renders and struggling. So that's tip number one. Max samples, not more than 200. Tip number two is if you go here, you go to preferences, and then you go to system, you can see this. So you want to always try and render with your GPU if you've got a computer with a GPU. If not, you'll have to render with a CPU, but obviously try to always select GPU when you're rendering, and then obviously you can see you've got those options. Make sure that that is selected if you have a graphics card on your computer or laptop. Okay, that's tip number two. Tip number three is use the latest version of Blender that is available. Blender is always upgrading the program to make sure that it's rendering faster and that your cycle renders is faster and all that stuff. So make sure you're on the latest version. That could also make a big difference. Tip number four, you see here the noise threshold. It's set to that by default. Change that to 0.1, and that will also make a difference. Tip number five is if you go down here to performance, select persistent data. Always make sure that's checked as well. And then if you go down here to light pass, go all the way down and select fast GI approximation. Select that as well. And then if you go down here, back down to performance, I usually set the title to 256, and that's just normally like a sweet spot for me, but you can obviously play around with that. So those are a couple of settings that you can change just to make your render a little bit faster. Hopefully that helps. It usually helps quite a lot. If you notice a big difference, I really hope it helps you, and hopefully it helps you render faster and makes your life easier. And I'll see you in the next one.